Hello friends, how are you? Welcome to your own channel Medu Study. I am your friend Ashutosh from I am Indore, and friends, as we all know, Medu Study is your own channel initiative in which we discuss various management topics and subjects in a very simple manner. Friends, in Medu Study currently we have 5 modules which are your marketing, OB, strategy, operations and HRM, and we have already completed our HR strategy and marketing modules, so all the videos are there in the playlist. Currently we are making videos on operations and OB, and further we will add some more topics. Let us start today's video, my dear friends, which is on organizational behavior, and as you can see, it is video number 16 and it is on motivation. First video on motivation. Let us begin and understand what motivation is, what are the various motives and what are the various approaches. We will cover motivation also in 3-4 videos because it is also a very important topic in OB. To understand any topic, first of all we should know what is the meaning. So term motivation is derived from the Latin word movere, which means to move. So it can refer to the psychological process of driving an individual to certain goals. So when we say to move, something which makes you move towards your goal, all that thing is basically motivation. So when we were in school, maybe a small recognition, a scholarship, even a applaud in the class will make us feel motivated, right? What is that? That is motivation. When we work in corporates, things, for example, performance incentive. What is that performance incentive? That is again a method of motivation, and that is how this concept is derived. Now motivation covers 3 elements which are needs, drives and incentive. First of all, what is need? Created whenever there is a physical or psychological imbalance. For example, you are feeling hungry, so you are in need of food. So in your body there is some imbalance which is created. That basically is need. Second is drives. Drives alleviate needs. Drives provide the energizing thrust to achieve a goal. So whenever there is a need, there will be an inner drive. Let me do it. So whenever you're feeling hungry, you will go, okay, let me find food, let me do this. Correct? And it provides that thrust to achieve the goal. Last is the incentive. These are the factors which reduce drive and alleviate the needs. So whenever companies provide an incentive, what is the idea? That employees should put extra more effort to achieve their goals. And this is how needs, drives and incentives are there, important elements of motivation. Now let us study some of the characteristics of motivation. First is source of motivation for different people is different, depends upon age, status, cultural background, etc. So for different people, according to age also, when we were a small kid, maybe a small chocolate or even a toffee would make us motivated. In class, teacher would say, if you get full marks, I will give you a chocolate. You will come home, you will prepare for the exam. Your parents will say, okay, I will buy you a new bat ball. You will be feeling motivated. Same kid, when he grows and maybe he enters college or maybe 11th 12th class, he will not be motivated by toffee and chocolate. He will say, okay, I will study, I will come first in class, but you need to buy me, for example, PlayStation or mobile. So what is happening? Due to change in age, what is motivating is basically becoming different. Status. For a person who is at, for example, a lower status, something which can be motivating. For example, free food can be motivating for many people, but for people who are in middle or in higher class, this will not motivate them. Correct? For them, maybe some better gift will motivate. It also depends on the cultural background, what kind of background a person belongs to. It is a psychological concept, therefore it comes within an individual. It cannot be forced, it always comes within. Same thing, same that chocolate I was referring to. Maybe 10 students find it motivating and study, but remaining say, okay, I can buy it from market, why to study, let me just do whatever. Correct? It is a complex phenomena, hence it cannot be observed directly. Means you cannot observe directly that I did this, I use this as incentive, so person is motivated. No. It is different from satisfaction, inspiration and manipulation. Now there are various things. You do something, you say I am satisfied. Being satisfied and being motivated are different. Similarly, being inspired, you can be inspired through various great people. You can be inspired from your some family members, some friends. That does not mean that you are motivated also. Correct? Because motivated is something which should make you move. Inspiration, not necessary. You can be inspired, but again you are not doing anything to move towards that. Some more characteristics. It positively influences the behavior of individual. So it helps the organization in achieving the goal through the employees. Positively, it is influencing the behavior. So organization will set certain goals, and that is why then organization have things like incentive program or your performance linked incentive. What are all these all are to positively influence the behavior so that they can move towards achievement of goal. It strengthens the employee's interest in work, which helps in reducing absenteeism. So people will be interested in the work. They will say, no, let me complete this work. I will get this. This is what is motivation. And organization where people are motivated, even absenteeism becomes low. Because see, if someone is not interested in work, then he will be absent again and again, right? It encourages employees to fulfill their own unsatisfied personal goals. So everyone will have their own personal goals also, na? So you have some are organizational goal. Okay, doing this much sale, that is an organizational goal. But personal goal will be, for example, learning, along with movement in career, how you are progressing. It helps employee to achieve individual, group and individual goals. So there will be various individual goals, there will be various group goals and organizational goal. This is a typo, so it helps basically to achieve all that. Now let us move to the next concept, which is motives. There are three types: primary, general and secondary. Let us understand one by one. When we say primary motives, so these are unlearned, means nobody needs to tell you. When you are born, or when any human being or any creature is born, he will have this, and psychologically based. So they can also be called as biological, physiological. Example: hunger, thirst, sex, sleep, etc. When a kid is born, no one will tell him that you need to be hungry, right? Through his body, being a human being, he will know. Whenever he will feel sleepy, he will sleep. Forget about human beings. See the creatures around you. Dogs, cows, birds, anyone. All of them will do something to get food, to get water, to get sleep, to have mating. Why? Because all these are primary motives which are unlearned. No one needs to tell about them. Next comes your general motives. So they lie between primary and secondary. So we can call them partially learned and partially biological, also called stimulus. For example, curiosity, affection. When you say partially learned, because a person learns about affection through his family, but some characteristics are there in the DNA as well. That is why it is called in between primary and secondary and known as general motive. Last comes your secondary motives. Secondary motives are the most important as these are learned. So person is learning it from people around him. So when you live in a society, there are some general and primary motives which leads to the secondary motives. Power, achievement, affiliation, right? So when a child is born, he will know that when I should be hungry, when I should be thirsty, when I need to sleep. But he will not understand what is power, what is achievement. That he will understand when he starts interacting with other kids, when he starts going to school. Then he will see, okay, there are these many kids. If I get good marks, I will be awarded. My parents will be happy. So all this affiliation, power, sense of achievement, all this person is learning. This no one is born with these characteristics. So these are known as secondary motives. Let us move to the next topic, which is the approaches. So there can be four different motivational approaches: instinct approach, drive reduction approach, incentive approach and cognitive approach. So let us start. First of all, the approach is instinct approach. So what this approach is all about? According to this approach, instincts or inborn patterns of behavior influence the behavior of person, and these are biologically predetermined. So whatever instincts or inborn patterns are there, which comes from within, like we were discussing primary motives, correct? So whenever a person is in need of sex, he will be basically looking for a mate. Whenever he is hungry, he will be looking for food. So all these approaches that to satisfy your primary motives are known as instinct approach, and this classifies. So for example, animals, right? They are not going to office for work, but whenever they are hungry, they will look for some food. If it is some herbivores, they will looking for some plant items. If it is carnivore, they will kill someone and try to eat. Why? Because they know if I am hungry, I have to gather food. This is known as instinct approach. Now, second approach is drive reduction approach. The approach establishes a relationship between needs and fulfillment of needs. So there are some needs and then you need to fulfill them. To do that, basically drive reduction. Every living organism experience certain drive or arousal that create feeling of anxiety and tension. So now you have taken a goal that I have to clear this entrance examination. You will have lot of syllabus, you will have lot of preparation. Now that will create an inner tension or anxiety in you. I have to do this, I have to do this. What is this? This is drive reduction approach. Similarly, now coming to work organization. For example, you are in sales department, there will be a month target. Now if you are not able to achieve that target and closing month end is approaching, then you will feel some tension, you will feel some anxiety. This is basically drive reduction approach. Now let us come to the third, which is incentive approach. According to this approach, motivation originates from desire to achieve external goals or incentive. Incentives can be tangible and intangible. So now when we were discussing drive reduction, now companies, what they do, they use this incentive approach. They will say, okay, if you achieve 100% of your target, you get this reward. If you do 110%, you get this reward. What is all this? All this is basically you are using incentive approach. Now what I was telling was all tangible. There can be intangible things also. It is not that if you have only cash rewards, only employees will be motivated. You have some good recognition program, that there will be a quarterly town hall, people will be applauded in that. You have some recognition program, employee of the month, correct? In schools, what used to be there? Person who used to win, he used to be called on stage. What is all that? Basically recognition. Now let us come to the fourth approach, which is cognitive approach. This is relatively modern approach and widely accepted by psychologists. Main focus of this approach remains on individual thoughts, beliefs, as well as understanding of world. So whatever are your own thoughts and beliefs, that are basically considered in the cognitive approach. This is all, my dear friends, from today's video. In next video we will cover some more topics of motivation. If there is any confusion, you can write in the comment section or our mail id miru.study@gmail.com. And if you are liking the content, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you. Take care.